Welcome everyone, it's Vapor Triggermart. It's time for some more Raid Shadow Legends. Last time we were doing some Doom Tower and I got stuck on it. I will be trying to think of what I want to do with I know this is going to sound insane, but I think it's because my sill is not well built. Honestly, and also I've got to do something with the provokes, because I know... Oh, why did I do that? That was dumb. That was dumb. I deserve to lose with that. Wow, I am dumb. You want to hear something funny? Their team is actually exceedingly free to play. Want to know why? Aethel you can get almost anywhere. Templar is farmable. This is actually potentially a free-to-play player. I'm not even joking. Like, look at what their squad is. If I'm not much mistaken, it's a bunch of really easy-to-get champs. But yeah, I have been farming tag quite a bit. I've mainly been doing it to stock up for Drex, although I did miss the fragment 11 o'clock at night. I can reposition the fragment to be a time more suited to me. Because at the moment, I'm just repositioning it with a lot of fragments. That was a one shot. Oh, that was priceless. That's what we like to call priceless. But yeah, my main objective right now: stock up on these bars. Just stock them up. Who dropped a log on me again? Oh, I should have done the energy thing. Okay, why didn't it kill her? And I do need to ask a question about a specific champion that nobody talks about. It concerns a dwarf that I don't know if anyone cares about anymore. I wonder if Soda Dragon would care, because he likes weird champs. Like, he talks about weird free-to-play champs all the time. Weird champs. I wonder if he'd like this champ. That's the thing. I don't know if he would. I'm going to delay getting that frag until like 8. So it's a bit more reasonable. Perfect. Or at least until I run out of tokens. One problem with this is that his affinity is a little bit wonky for me. And he does a lot of damage. Don't ever underestimate this guy's damage. This, Herndig, that's his name. Yes, Herndig. Don't underestimate his damage. He's actually really powerful. I mean, he's up there in one of my most wanted champs, actually. But he's not my most wanted. My most wanted is a toss-up between Brogni and Mashald. At the moment, it's probably Brogni. And then Mashald. But yeah. Brogni, Mashald, and, probably Sifi. My most wanted attack champ is probably... of all time is probably Leorius, but... I mean, he could be my most wanted champ of all time. I know you're like, Vaporsmith, are you on crack? Why would you think that Leorius is the most wanted? Leorius is underrated. That's the first thing everyone needs to understand. Leorius is underrated because he has an unkillable buff, for one thing, that he puts on himself. For another, he has no weak affinities because he's void. Okay, so that's a big one. Another one is his burst damage is very high. Really helps you with like wave content if you get him. He looks awesome. Leorius looks awesome. He's got that like Elden Ring aesthetic. And even though I'm struggling with Elden Ring at the moment, I still love Elden Ring's aesthetic. It's one of the reasons why I will beat that game. Because Elden Ring has an incredible aesthetic. I don't care if I'm bad at the game. Alright? I'll find a way to beat it. I promise you. Just buy the frag. Alright, so I'm going to go clean up my inventory. Buy some of these. All these that I gotta buy are turn into food, by the way. Just want to point that out. They're all gonna turn into food. Okay. And if you're asking, how is that? Well, what does the Eviscerator even do? Weird. Okay, I won't kill her, but... weird champ. Definitely weird champ. I don't know. First you gotta compress. Like, I do this all the time. Before you're like, oh, Vaporsmith. You don't do this all the time. I do. Yes, I do. I do this all the time. I get Drexthar frags. I train champs. This is what I do. Every day. I mean, I hide some of it from you, but this is what I do. Like, I do a lot of grinding of Brimstone Pass. Like, a lot of grinding of Brimstone Pass. Like, you don't want to know. You do not want to know how much grinding I do of Brimstone Pass, because it might make you a little bit sick. Because that's exactly what I end up having to do to get enough food, like this guy's food, to make 6 stars. Because I regularly get 6 stars off the conveyor belt. That's the thing. I have a conveyor belt, if you will. A conveyor belt of champs. It's the champion conveyor belt. Alright, so we're gonna hatch. What we got? Bunch of food. Pretty much. I mean, yes, Outlaw Monk is usable, but I already have one built, so he's food. Because I already used copies of him to build out his skills. See? Yeah. I only need one of him. That's it. I only need one built. I only need one built. Hexweaver is a nice rare, but I don't need her. Well, she's not really a nice rare. She's actually a pretty crappy rare. Yeah, she's a pretty crappy rare. I don't need her at all. Now, if I got Apothecary, I would lose it. And you're like, Vaporsmith, why? Well, I'm glad you asked that question. And I'm going to give you an answer. And it's going to sound weird in the mind. Alright? Just brace yourselves. The reason that I favor... And I am going to be upgrading him, by the way, before we're moving on to other food. Like, that other guy's food, by the way. Just want to point that part out. Queen Eva is going to be a major dungeon crawling champ. Same with Coffin Smasher. I'm not actually feeding Coffin Smasher. He's useful. Because you have to make decisions on who is food and who is not food. If that was Apothecary, I would instantly snatch him up and build him. But it's not Apothecary, so screw that. It's not Apothecary. It's not another Kale. I do build multiple Kales. Unfortunately, I did sacrifice some of the other Kales to build a Kale because I only feel like I need 2. That's it. I only need 2, and one of them is going to be built in full crit damage, savage, helm smasher, mastery, blah blah blah. That's what they're good for. So yeah, I'm going to be focusing only on a specific set of stages at the moment because it's not Clan Wars, number 1, and number 2, this account has specific progression it has to do, and the only way to achieve this progression is by going through very specific stages of campaign. And yes, I'm going to be doing exactly that. I mean, we can swap back and forth for the variety, but I'm not going to all just do it in order. I want to make this more interesting. I'm not doing normal because normal is boring. I am already OP in this version already because I'm early mid-game. I'm not early game. I'm early mid-game is where I'm at right now. I'm not late game. I'm not late game by any means. But I'm early mid-game, which means that I've got to start like very early mid-game where I have to start getting... Well, actually, I reached there a little while ago. I might... Okay, that noise. I have to close the door. Wait a sec. Okay, I'm back. Yes. So, I am kind of early in the game. I do a lot of crazy stuff. I mean, I would stay here, but I gotta focus on my next target. The main thing here is I'm trying to get these two up to par and make my next rank 5 food. Because the problem is if I just keep leveling other 6 stars, we'll never get to the 60 stage in time, because in order for the rest of these champs to really be usable, I have to get them to 60. And I also have to look for Spirit Host copies while I'm at it. I may also end up building a Templar. Why? Very simple. For soloing high-level Doom Tower bosses. We're going to continue our campaign of terror. I was hoping that the Hex Weaver was not going to be something, because unfortunately, I still need my Apothecary. To this day, on this account, he hasn't hatched. He's hatched on my other 2 accounts. My first and second accounts, Apothecary has hatched multiple times, but never on this one. So, yeah, I'm going to be trying to continue to hatch him. I did get some epics yesterday. I know they're kind of good epics, but again, like I said, I really need an Apothecary for this account, I think. And I don't think any of them are exactly Apothecary substitutes. I mean, I guess Eris could be, but not really. Vrask is about the closest we've got. And Padma. Vrask and Padma. There's a reason I pull 10 pulls of these all the time. There's a reason. It's because I have to go through a lot of mystery shards in order to get this champ. In order to get this champ I'm looking for, I have to go through a heck of a lot of mystery shards, because the problem is his probability is incredibly low, and Hexweaver, as valueless as she is, has reset my mercy. So, since Hexweaver has reset my mercy, in order to get another one, I have to hatch 100 mystery shards. Because I'm pretty sure there is a mercy system for mystery shards, but the mercy is, you only hit mercy once you hit 100 mystery shards. So, I have to hit 100 mystery shards before I hit mercy again. And even when I hit mercy, I don't know what rare I'm gonna hatch. I don't know what rare I'm gonna hatch. It could be not a useful rare at all, like Hexweaver. So I never really know what champ I'm gonna hatch. That's the problem. I don't know what champ I'm going to hatch. And because I don't know what champion I'm going to hatch. We could be here a long time trying to hatch Apothecary. I'm not going to keep going until I get an Apothecary, but I'd like to in the session that I'm looking for other farmable champs in this game. As well as trying to get them to 60. Because having multiple 60s is important for progression. It is important. Because the more 60s you have, the more that, like, the 60 is when they're used everywhere, pretty much, that they're able to be used in. And that's where I want. It also removes the, helps polish off the noob stuff off of this account. Because that's the problem. It still has some of that noob feel to it with the 60, the level 58, 57. I've got to squeak that off, cause it's very annoying to have that. Get the poison on there. Gonna do that. Where else do I need to go? Felon's Gate, not really. This place, yes. This place, yes, because it's got speed gear. And speed gear is important. I'm trying to think of places that are important. Now, I could go to Felwyn's Gate. But I don't know how good that would be for me to do. Because Felwyn's Gate doesn't, like, the accuracy gear is not usually high enough rank to really warrant it. And Felwyn's Gate, the champs are not that high value or high priority. Because most of the best Ogrins you're going to have to get from Ancients and above. Right now, my primary thing is to raise food for the next rank 6. Because that's exactly what we're going to have to do. And the next rank 6 is most likely High Katoon. Now you might ask, why High Katoon? Very simple. Because I need her to progress in Arena. Either High Katoon or Spirit Host. But High Katoon is up there on my list. Followed by Padma. And then Spirit Host. Because the problem is, I need a speed lead to signify that I'm not a noob anymore. And the only way to do that is to get that one to 6-star 60, which will take a while. If I get Apothecary in the interim, I'll do him, but I have not done that, so I may end up doing that. Like, Haikatune has a lot of uses, but it would be preferred. I don't really want Diabolist as a 60 right now. I mean, I could get her and get her to 60, but I don't really want to do that at the moment. Gonna keep going. I'm also doing this. I'm gonna use this for Faction Wars or something. I'm already doing this for silver. Because resistance is actually kind of valuable. Unfortunately, it's a low rank piece. It won't give me the resistance I truly desire. Not in the slightest. Because I want resistance, very high resistance on a piece of gear. Some of this advanced content, you want like 300-400 resistance plus. Easily. Yes. That's the answer to that. Yes. 300-400 resist. I've decided to keep going on this until I try to get Apothecary and get Warmaiden to 60. Those are my immediate aims. Those are my immediate aims. And yes, you did just watch some spicy EVA combat. EVA versus EVA combat. If you like that, please like and subscribe. I am getting more subs and likes every day, and I could definitely use all I could get, because eventually I need it. I need it because I need to get to 1,000 eventually. I know 1,000's a really big number. Okay? But if you can keep this going, I might be able to eventually reach 1,000 in a couple years' time, all right? That's the thing. I know 1,000's a lot. I know 1,000 is a big number, but I feel if I am persistent, if I have faith, eventually I'll be able to do it. Now, would I like it a little bit faster than 4 years? Yes. So keep liking and subscribing to my stuff, and eventually I can build an empire. All right, I'm at 100 and I think 72, which is incredible. Trust me, I really appreciate every single subscriber I have. I really do. But if we can get to 1,000, that's gonna be the big ticket number. That's gonna be the number that I want above all is 1,000. And I know it's a lot, but I that's what I'm aiming for. I know it's high ambition. I know it's a really high ambition, but that's what I'm aiming for. All right? That's the dream. 1,000 is the dream. I'm not saying we'll get there even this year, but it's the dream. I am probably going to want to do a lot of Elden Ring and Elder Scrolls Online for subs, because that seems to be successful, so I will continue to do those games. I am going to defeat Molag Bal coming up if I can get the levels. Warmaiden's nice to look at. She really has a lot of utility in terms of what she does and stuff. Very useful for a lot of things. She's useful for views. She's useful for decreased defense. She can do damage. Her main downfalls are affinity and the fact that she doesn't decrease turn meter, which doesn't sound like a big deal, but it is. Which is why Deacon usually takes over. I am going to meticulously save up fragments for that because I want my Drex rushed delivery as soon as I can. I've got to do... I'm going to log in on the other accounts, but that's the main gist of that. I've got to... This is a little dangerous, but I'm going to risk it anyway. There's a reason I'm risking this, is because I know I have the ability to stay away from his decreased defense. That's how I know. That's why I try it. You're like, is it a calculated risk? It's a calculated risk. I only do it because I know that my Haikatoon usually goes first. And then even if it doesn't, she can revive. Like, I have a number of tools to deal with that. So that's why I risk it. This is a little bit more hazardous, actually, to my health. This I can probably deal with. I don't know if I can, but always make sure to put that up. Ew. Interesting. Interesting. Oh, it's an ally attack champ. Okay. Okay. I have to do my... I didn't even know what she did. I don't really want to risk that. That looks way too dangerous. This is the second day I've Madame Ceres. I am, like, petrified. You're like, why? Because Madame Ceres instantly removes buffs. She does a lot of damage. How did that remove the debuff? At any rate, we'll have to do a gold push later because this account's in trouble. In general. This account is in trouble in general for a lot of reasons. There's a reason I'm trying to raise the number of 60s on this account. Is because you kind of need to have a lot of options. And I just don't have that many options. And my damage is really bad. So there's that. At least I got my quest done. Hatch and not... Well, I actually have to make space. But yes, after making space... But like I said, I already built one. I'm not going to build a million of them. So that's why I do that. Because he's not that useful. Like, he's useful, and yet he's not that useful at the same time. Like, he's useful for clan boss and dragon, but other than that, and ice golem, his use in arena is pretty non-existent almost. As soon as you get into the better arena teams, his use drops right off a cliff. So, yeah. For arena, at least. Not for clan boss. I still use him there. But for arena, yeah. I'll take it. Resistance. Let's go. I have to farm the higher levels of that. What do we got? Nothing good. That's what we got. And you're like, what do you mean, nothing good? Well, I happen to be somewhat informed on what champions are good and what champions are bad. So, yeah. I happen to be informed on that, and I can tell you 100% that that champ ain't good. I could tell you that 100%. Those champs are just food. I'm looking for specifically apothecary or something of that nature. Something specifically worth his weight. My other two accounts have already discovered him. This is the only account that I have that has not discovered apothecary. It was a nice one shot. But yes, this is the only account that has not discovered that magical champion. It's the only one. So that's why I'm looking for him. And hopefully, at some point, I'll get him. Which should happen. It's just a matter of how many thousand mystery shards must I pull before it happens. That's the real question. How many thousand must I pull? How many thousand must I pull before I get that magical champion? That's the real question. We will see. Only time will tell. But here's one thing that I can guarantee you. Alright? And I did that by mistake, by the way. I will not give up on this game for a very long time to come. So, because of this, I will eventually find that apothecary. He will be mine. So, that is one thing I'm going to guarantee you, is I'm not giving up until I find him. I am not giving up until I find him. I'm also not giving up until this lady is 60, because I need to have a title that's compelling. That is another thing. As I mine the campaign for resources. And And Yo-Man is completely useless to me except for one purpose. Food. That is all he's good for, is food. I mean, he might be okay for Fire Knight, maybe, but I consider investing in him a tremendous waste because he would only be useful for Fire Knight. He wouldn't be useful for anything else. At all. Like, he's pathetic otherwise. Absolutely pathetic. You know, somehow doing that is very satisfying. The Ancient Curse. Ancient Curse is a very satisfying ability. Keep going. Because I feel like today is the day that I should get a champ to 60. I will keep plowing through until I can get there. I mean, I know I can just skip to Brimstone Pass and farm that, but I feel like that's very bad for making content. That's what I feel like, because it's so repetitive. I'd rather go in through the different stages of this. Energy Drain is a hilarious ability. Let's keep it up. Let's keep going. This place is great for specific pieces of lifesteal and Templars. Granted, I'm not going to build a Templar yet for a while to come. Although I may end up doing so regardless. Mainly because this account does not have a Demetha. It doesn't have any of the other Bommel champs like Frask or Vogoth. It doesn't have any of that. So since it doesn't have any of that, yeah, it's probably the biggest candidate for doing Templar. The biggest candidate. But yeah. And she's about to reach 60 though, which is going to be really hype. Warmaiden is going to reach 60 and all of her content stuff will open up pretty much with that, which is going to be great. Yes, she reached 60. She reached 60. Now the other lady is still going to need to reach 60. The Queen Eva, but this will be Warmaiden's first ever battle in this account as a 60, which is nice. I'm still going to be saving up silver for stuff if I can. That was a nice chunk with that energy drain. And there we go. Gotta start upgrading artifacts, but for whom and why? Start with Warmaiden's Helm. So the real question. What missions do we need to do? Okay, we need to do one more arena and one more clan boss. And we should be good for this account for now. And then I'm going to go just log in the other ones briefly. Always capitalize on the low tiers of these, because the only way I got to gold, or the way to sneak into gold, is to attack the weakest link. If you see the weak link, just attack it. That's how you push into gold. This looks pretty bad, but it's not immediately obvious why. But it looks pretty bad. This is also bad, but we're going to give it a go just regardless. Okay. Okay, at least we've got their main abilities down. We're going to want to focus down the Katoon. Get her out of the picture. We're going to want to focus on Lizard Man. Because Lizard Man is a problem. I want to take enemy Kale out of the picture, if I can. Now it's just bad Alcazar. Okay, mission accomplished. Let's give it a shot, but I don't know. Let's try it. I am afraid of Tatura in general, because that means someone actually had the resolve to fuse him, which means they're usually well prepared. This is generally not someone you really want to pick a fight with, unfortunately. Because I failed the Tatura fusion, so they're organized. Yeah, that was a bad fight. This one I actually have a sneaky idea. Wow. Was not expecting that damage out of him. Well, I'll be. Well, I'll be. Dear Lord, he's tanky. What? Thought he'd be easier to kill than that. This is not easy. This is not as easy as it looks, by the way. Before you think, oh, you know, this is easy. On this account, it's not. This is as hard as high gold on, or like mid gold, like gold 2 on this account. That's the nasty part. This is actually really hard. And is really cutting me for time. So I just cannot delete that lady. Okay, finally. Finally, we might be able to get a win here. Finally. I still can't shove into gold with that. I'm going to give it a little more time. Well, that's a bit unfortunate. I'm going to hatch a 10 pull if I can. Alright. Please. Let this be the one. Let this be the one where he shows... Of course not. Of course not. But my hope never fades. I will eventually get there. And then we'll do some clan boss. As the finale. Like and subscribe. I work extremely hard on this stuff every day. This is not even half the work I actually do on the game. This is just what I do in the morning. This is literally what I do in the morning, and then I often grind all day trying to get stuff done on the game. Like, literally, all day. You do not get to see the full extent of what how hard. Often I work so hard on this game, but I don't even have time to label the videos, which sometimes I will label the videos. I have to go label them later today, but yeah, that's how hard I work on these games. If you're wondering, why didn't you label the video? It's because I'm working on making another video. That is literally how hard I work on this content. Literally. Literally. And I'm going to have to now get everyone masteries, which is going to be a pain. I'm not joking about that being a pain in the butt. This account will eventually reach greatness, but good accounts are like a vintage or a fine wine. They're hard to do. You really have to work hard to make that happen. And the grim reality of it is it actually takes a fair amount of time, especially without masteries, to build up the clan boss damage. Even with a team of 60s. Because here's the thing, I don't use Warmaiden for this. You're like, why? Well, this isn't where Warmaiden shines. You can use Warmaiden in Clan Boss, but this is not where she shines the brightest. This is one of her weak points. Especially because her survivability is... That's where Warmaiden's biggest weakness, by the way, is probably survivability. Looks. She's got looks. Damage. She has damage. Decreased defense? Check. Turn meter control and survivability? No. And that's what hits her the hardest, I'd say. That's what I'd say hits Warmaiden the hardest. She also doesn't have any poison. Or decreased attack either. Decreased attack, you never underestimate how valuable decreased attack is as a debuff. I made that mistake so many times. If I could just get an extra turn there, get some more poison up. That would be great. That would be wonderful. Come on. I want more burns. And the thing is, Blind Seer... I know no one cares about her but Deadwood Jedi, but Blind Seer is legit. Like, she does a lot for my team. Even though people have long since stopped caring about Blind Seer. He's like, oh, I need Krusk, I need Brogni, I need Mishald. Meanwhile, Blind Seer back here getting completely ignored. And she's the only Void Legendary I've ever actually pulled. In the history of this game, in over a year of playing, the only Void Legendary I've ever pulled is this here Blind Seer on the right. That's it. That's the only Void Legendary I've ever pulled out of, like, more than 100 Voids overall. Like, and I'm not even exaggerating. I'd love to be exaggerating you, but I'm not exaggerating. She is the only one of her kind to actually hatch. Not go from login rewards, but hatch from a shard. On any of my 3 accounts, because I have 3 accounts. Yeah. She's the only one of her kind to do that. To visit. And that's why she's notable. And Mordecai is notable because he's one of only 2 Mordecais that's ever hatched for me. And Kale is notable because he's the most I've ever built of one champion. Valerie is notable because she is one of the only Banner Lords besides Stag Knight that I've ever actually built to 60. Most Banner Lords never get that honor, not even if they're legendary, like Manaya. And yes, Manaya was one of my first ever pulled legendaries. No one even mentions her in passing anymore. They don't even bother. No one even bothers to mention Manaya anymore. I mean, I thought at least they'd find it in their heart to mention Blind Seer. But no, they're heartless. They only care about the absolute top of the pyramid. And actually, there is one person who cares. There's one last person. Actually, two. There's two last people in the world that care about that champs that are not at the top of the pyramid. Two people, maybe three. No, it's four. YST, Hell Hades, Soda Dragon, and Cold Brew. That's it. That's literally it. The rest of them only care about the top tier stuff. And maybe Deadwood Jedi. Maybe. That's it. That's literally it. And the rest of them, they don't care. They literally don't care. And it's sad. It's really sad for me to admit this to you. But that is the truth. That is the truth, that they only care about the top tiers. They don't care about the rest of them. It's like, what are you talking about? Runekeeper Dazdirk? I don't care about Runekeeper Dazdirk. Demetha? Nobody cares about Demetha. Farakin the Fat? Who's he? Like literally, this is the stuff they snub their nose at it, and the only things that they ever go for are like Mashald, Krisk, like the big boys, and they don't mention all the little guys that can actually do a lot for your team. You know, all the little guys get ignored. Caden gets ignored. Like the amount of champions that get ignored that are epics. Tayrell, completely ignored. Jareg. Only Soda Dragon cares about Jareg now. Only. It's like only Soda Dragon cares. And you want to know the biggest example of what I'm talking about? I'm going to show you the biggest example. All right. I'm going to show you the biggest example right now of a champion everyone on the planet is ignoring as we speak. Everyone's ignoring this champ. And I will be talking about him in another episode. Although he's not on this account. He's on my second account. Dang it. I'll talk about him later. There's an account. There's a dwarf that everyone ignores. Everyone except one person. There's one person in the world who... And I'm going to have to go farm food off screen. Wonderful.